In today's session, a power of attorney. Jennifer Syvertson says her landlord Cynthia Giese is a peeping Tom who would make any excuse to walk in on her and her lover without any notice.
These were two lesbians that lived together, and you were titillated by what was going on?
They were paranoid, and I really didn't know why. I don't know if they thought I wanted to change the VCR tapes and the camcorder in the bedroom or what.
We're being stalked by this woman. What are you looking for? What do you find so fascinating about us?
But Cynthia says she's suing Jennifer because her and her lover owe her almost $5,000 in back rent.
You have tried to run roughshod over this nice lady, haven't you? You snuck out in the night like a thief while this nice lady was on vacation. I'm her lawyer now, and this little turkey shoot's over.
Judge Napolitano has taken the bench, and attorneys Nelda Blair and Bernie Bernheim are ready to begin the case.
Okay, thanks a lot. Now, you're a professional landlord, is that right?
Yes.
So you know that there are reasons why a tenant can abandon a property, okay, and not pay the rent. There are legitimate reasons for that, aren't there?
I would imagine.
Yeah, like, for example, if you don't have any heat and it's Colorado in the wintertime,
Sure.
that tenant can leave. There are things that make an apartment uninhabitable, aren't there? And wouldn't you agree that a landlord's violation of the lease by consistently invading the privacy of the tenant's leasehold is a reason why a tenant can abandon the lease?
If that were the case, possible.
Okay, so you would agree that if you were doing that, then they don't owe you anything. If you were regularly violating their privacy. So this case...
Are you saying yes?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So it just comes down to whether you were doing that.
Yes.
Okay. Did you, in fact, at times, enter the tenant's apartment without their permission,
Yes.
without notice?
Yes.
And how many times did you do that?
They were there for 5 months, so probably 4 times.
4 times. In fact, you would sometimes go in there and just leave casual notes on their kitchen table, wouldn't you?
No.
Well, you left a note dated August 14th just to thank Lisa and Jennifer for always being so prompt with their utility payments.
Yes, I said I did that.
I value you both as tenants and as friends and apologize for any controversy with Pete that
Judge.
adversely affected you, right?
Judge,
You left
what's
this
the
note, didn't
All
you?
right, what's the objection?
With the soliloquy, Judge, this is already in evidence. That we don't have to have counsel read it with such meaning into the record.
I thought he did a good job of reading it. Overruled. Go ahead, Mr. Bernheim.
Why didn't you just leave it in their mailbox or tape it to their door? Why'd you have to go into their apartment to give them this note?
Because it's a community mailbox used by everyone. Number 2, in June and July...
Wait a
in
minute,
Florida-
I don't understand that.
want me to
Never
answer
your
it?
envelopes?
Let her finish answering.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Just a minute. Read, Francine, read the question that Mr. Bernheim put to Ms. Giese, the one that she started to answer.
Question: why didn't you leave it in their mailbox or tape it to their door? Why did you have to go into their apartment to give them this note? Answer: because it's a community mailbox used by everyone.
You can pick up your answer.
So they don't have their own mailbox. The second part of your question, I did not tape it to the door. During June, July, and August, there are torrential afternoon rains down there, and there's no covering to their door. Thirdly, I did not go into their apartment to leave it. I opened the door and put it on the threshold.
What do you mean there's no covering to the door?
There's no, I'm sorry, there's no like awning, so
Oh,
if you paste
okay.
anything to the door, it'll
Okay.
get sopping wet with the
Okay.
wind.
Okay, go
So
ahead, Mr.
in
Bernheim.
this wonderful apartment complex that you've provided, you don't even give a way for your tenants to get mail safely?
Nobody else has ever complained about it or asked about it.
So there's no U.S. What does a mailman do with the envelopes?
There's one common mailbox, as I said.
Okay, so why couldn't you just write their name on an envelope, seal it up, and put the note in the envelope?
If they had ever asked me to do that and had an objection, I would have.
Well, don't you know from your own common sense and from the rules of being a landlord that you're not supposed to just go into someone's apartment to drop off a note?
I had never gotten an objection before.
So you don't know that? You think
Evidently
you're just
not.
allowed to go into one of your apartments anytime with no notice.
No,
Is that right?
No.
Okay. What's your understanding then of what kind of notice you have to give before you come into an apartment?
To try to call?
Okay. Did you try to call before you left that note?
Yes, and they
And
they
what
gave
was
me no
so
numbers.
god-awful important about this note that it had to be delivered inside the apartment? About, oh, well, thank you. Pete seems to think that Arthur and I have nothing to do but
Judge,
stroll
here we
around.
go
What
again.
is
We've heard
so
this
important
once.
about this
Okay,
note
all right.
that you couldn't leave it in the mailbox? That you had to violate their privacy?
Okay, we've been through this, Mr. Bernheim.
What was
Finish
so
with this
important
witness.
about it?
I think thank yous are always important.
Okay, important enough to invade their privacy. And we have agreed, have we not, that if you did invade their privacy, then they should have just cleared out.